You know how some nights just feel different? Like they're buzzing with something more, a mix of faith, community, and just history. Well, today we're diving deep into one of those very special nights. And it's not just about the moon and stars, right? It's something more. It's this glow that seems to come from our homes, from these moments we share with each other, a glow that's been passed down for centuries. And in a place like Turkey, that glow, it actually has a smell. Just imagine it. The warm, toasty scent of sesame and butter from these special pastries called kandil simidi, just wafting through the air. That smell is celebration. It's the first sign that, yep, tonight is a special night. And it's not just about enjoying them yourself. You see trays of these pastries, sweets, and fresh bread being passed from hand to neighbors, to family, to anyone who might need it. It's this beautiful, tangible reminder that these nights are just as much about connecting with each other as they are about personal reflection. So, what's the story behind these glowing nights and all this amazing food? Well, these traditions have a name, and trust me, a really fascinating history. They're known as candle nights, and simply put, they're a series of blessed evenings in the Islamic calendar, and each one is packed with profound meaning. Okay, so the word itself, kandil, gives us a huge clue. It comes from the Arabic kandil, which traces all the way back to the Latin word candela. Yep, like a candle. And this all started back in the 16th century with the Ottoman Sultan Selim II. It was his idea to literally light up the minarets of the mosques with oil lamps on these holy nights. So they became, quite literally, nights of light. So there are actually 5 of these kandil nights celebrated throughout the year. Each one marks a really important moment in Islamic history. And for this explainer, we're going to focus on what is arguably the most miraculous one of them all, Mi'raj Kandili, the Night of Ascension. Now, to really get why Mi'raj is so significant, we have to rewind. We have to go back to a time of incredible hardship in the life of the Prophet Muhammad. He was going through what's known as the Year of Sorrow. I mean, just imagine, he lost his uncle, Abu Talib, who was his biggest protector, and his beloved wife, Khadijah, his rock. On top of that, his community was facing this harsh social and economic boycott. He even tried to find support in another city, Taif, but was met with hostility. He was literally stoned and driven out. It was at this absolute low point, this moment of deep despair, that a divine miracle happened. It was a kind of consolation, a message of hope when all seemed lost. And this is where it begins. This verse from the Quran, from Surah Al-Isra, sets the stage for something absolutely extraordinary. It talks about a servant being taken by night, a journey that was about to bend all the rules of space and time as we know them. So think of this event like a 2-act play. The first part is the Isra. That's the miraculous night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem. And then comes the second part, the Mi'raj. That's the mind-blowing ascension from Jerusalem straight up through the heavens. So let's break that down. Isra is the earthly part, the horizontal journey, right? From Masjid al-Haram in Mecca all the way to Masjid Aqsa in Jerusalem. But from Jerusalem, the journey shifts. It becomes Mi'raj, the heavenly ascent, a vertical climb up through the 7 celestial spheres. And as he ascends through the heavens, he meets the prophets who came before him. Adam, Jesus, John, Moses, Abraham. It's this incredibly powerful moment, showing the unbroken chain of the divine message. And this journey goes all the way to a place called Sidratul Muntaha, which means the lobe tree of the farthest boundary. This is it, the absolute final frontier of creation, a place so sacred that no created being, not even the angels, can go beyond it. Now, this incredible journey wasn't just symbolic. It wasn't just a vision. The prophet returned with 3 very real, very tangible divine gifts for his entire community. Just 3, but these 3 gifts would go on to become absolute foundational pillars of Islamic faith and practice forever. So what were they? First, the gift of the 5 daily prayers, the Salat. The prophet himself called prayer the light of my eyes, and it's seen as every Muslim's own personal ascension, their own Mi'raj. Second, he brought back the final 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, which are just packed with the core beliefs of the faith. And the third gift? A promise. The promise of paradise for everyone in his community who passes away without associating partners with God. A message of ultimate hope. So we have this profound spiritual event from history. But how does that translate into today? How do people remember and celebrate this Night of Ascension right now, in the real world?
Well, on a personal level, it's a time for some deep spiritual reflection. A lot of people will choose to fast during the day. They'll spend the night reciting the Quran, performing extra prayers, asking for forgiveness, and of course, giving charity. It's all about honoring the spirit of the night through your own personal devotion.
But really, this spirit of Kandil just explodes when it comes to the community. I love this story about a woman named Fatma Nine. On every Kandil night, she would cook this huge cauldron of a sweet dessert called helva. The smell would just fill the entire town, and she'd share it with absolutely everyone. She turned a simple dessert into this incredible symbol of love and sharing. And the best part? Her daughter keeps the tradition going today. In the spirit of sharing, you see it in other ways too. There's this beautiful tradition called askada ekmek, which means bread on a hook. It's so simple. You go to a bakery, you buy your bread, and you pay for an extra loaf. The baker then hangs that extra loaf on a hook, and anyone who's in need can just come and take it for free. No questions asked. It's such a quiet, dignified way of looking out for each other. And believe it or not, the celebration even has its own soundtrack. There's a special form of classical Turkish music called the Mirajia, and it was composed specifically to tell the story of the Ascension. And during these performances, they often serve milk and sherbet, which is a little nod to the drinks that were offered to the Prophet during his journey through the heavens. So let's bring it all together. When you step back and look at it, it's pretty amazing. Out of a journey that began in a time of deep sorrow came these incredible gifts of hope and spiritual connection. And from one single miraculous night, a whole culture of light, of sharing food, and of community just continues to thrive. At its core, the story of Miraz is really about finding strength when you're facing incredible hardship. It's a reminder that a personal journey, an ascent, can bring back gifts that benefit everyone, which kind of leaves us with a big question to think about, right? In our own world, with all of its challenges, what does a personal journey of ascension mean for you? How can our own moments of growth, our own climbs, become gifts of kindness and connection for the people around us?